What's going on, guys? Welcome back to TBT.
The Throwback Tomb. We've arrived to 1982. Oh yeah, we in the 80s now.
Yes.
Growing up, like I was saying right before we started filming, 80s was my favorite decade of music. It's probably still like my second favorite decade because, you know, you have so many bands that come out in the 80s that are just so influential, especially for like the sound that we go for when we play music. So,
Yeah. Which I love the sound of the 80s. That is my just top.
you got that damn echo chamber drum sound.
That's very true. Before I mention my 1982, I wanted to say this real fast. We had a comment on our 1974 album.
Did you listen to it?
Yes, I did.
What was your thoughts on it?
Very interesting. Country
Oh, yeah.
rock, so I loved the sound of it. It was Graham Parsons' Grievous Angel album.
Yeah, for me, dude, I was listening and it was kind of a mixture of like country, southern rock, psychedelic,
Yeah.
like really atmospheric. It was very weird, but in a good way. It was very, very creative. I would say that for sure. So, thanks to the person who commented that. You know, if y'all ever comment and want us to check something out that we may have never heard of, like I'd heard of the artist, but I had never listened to any of their music. So I checked out pretty much the whole album, I think for sure. But the tracks that I've listened to a lot of. It was just very different from anything I'd really ever heard. So, very experimental.
Yeah. I mean, the album was basically it's about heartbreak, addiction, wandering. It's about nostalgic love. I mean, it's a very interesting album. And to that person, I have your on YouTube. Chainless Soul is what their ad is. So thank you at Chainless Soul for commenting. We appreciate that. If you have any other albums or anyone else watches that has any other albums, please comment below and we will get to it as soon as we can.
Yeah, it was very, very different listen than what I'm used to, so.
I enjoyed it. So let's start this off, everyone. Let's get into 1982.
All right.
So my first album, now this was a little hard for me a little bit to choose because this is my era, like I love 80s. But 1982, I chose Michael Jackson's Thriller.
Well.
And I decided to go a little out of the rock and started focusing on some of the stuff that started developing in the 80s.
Bro, I tried. I tried to do that, and I did do that a little bit, but because you know the 80s has got such there's a big pop movement, everything
There's so
like
much. There's
probably albums that I didn't even think of that I would have loved to put on these years that I'll probably find later, and I'm like, oh well, that would have definitely been on there.
I literally did that while I was writing it. I was like, crap, I forgot all about this album. But Michael Jackson's Thriller, Wanna Be Starting Something, Thriller, Beat It, Billie Jean, Human Nature. I mean, those are my favorite songs on that album. I mean, Billie Jean, if you've never heard of Billie Jean, just play Vice City. If you want to play a game, it's on there. I mean, Thriller is an iconic dance that happens at weddings and all around the world.
Oh, yeah. I mean, Halloween parties because of the video.
Yes.
Michael
Jackson.
Eddie Van Halen played on Beat It, and he played the solo for free. He didn't even want no money. He just wanted to play on it.
And that's just amazing in itself that one of my favorite rock guitarists was with Michael Jackson.
Yeah.
But I gave that my number one. Now, my runner-up, which I had to change over time because I didn't have anything, but I found this album, and it's called Foreigner. I think it's Records or Records, but I don't know how they're going on about that. Maybe Foreigner Records?
Probably. I'm not really sure.
Because records and records are the same spelling, so...
Stupid English language.
Yeah. Yeah. But guess what, everybody? This album has some great hits. Cold as Ice, Double Vision.
Oh, it's a greatest hits record album.
Well, I don't know. I think it's actually called their album.
Oh, really?
I think that's their album name.
Huh.
But Cold as Ice, Double Vision, Waiting for a Girl Like You, Feels Like the First Time,
Oh,
Hot
yep.
Blooded.
Yes.
I mean, those are the major
All
hits.
on the
that
radio.
All on the radio. Fantastic. In movies as well. Just everywhere. I enjoyed both of those albums a lot. There's so many of them, but those are the main two that I picked.
I remember, like, my dad used to play classic radio all the time, and I remember Foreigner, and I think I was like a teenager, and I went to Walmart. You can't really find it no more, and I don't know why. But it was a Foreigner greatest hits compilation, and it was called Jukebox Heroes, and it was like 12 of their biggest songs, and it had like 4 or 5 of the ones you just mentioned. It had like Urgent, Dirty White Boy, Jukebox Hero, a few others that were just like, they're all mega hit songs. But yeah, I totally forgot about Foreigner. But yeah,
that
there's so much out there, you know what I mean?
there is.
But I'm going to tell you right now, I had a rough time with 1982, so I have an honorable mention for third place. But I'll just skim over it really quickly.
Be careful what happened last time.
Yeah, I know. We're on a different service this time.
Yeah.
Okay, so my pick, though, my pick is going to be Blackout by Scorpions.
Scorpions album. Okay.
So you got Blackout, Can't Live Without You, No One Like You, You Give Me All I Need, Now, Dynamite, Arizona. Never a huge hit, but that's an amazing song. China White and When the Smoke Goes Down, bro. It's their era that they're going in the more mainstream direction, but they still have those killer guitar licks, bro. And I'm trying to think. I think the guitarist's name was Matthias Jabs or something like that. It's Matthias. I don't remember his last name.
See, very long hair and like with a mustache guy, or?
Well, there was the guy before him was Uli John Roth.
Oh, maybe that's the guy.
So that might be the one you're talking about. But
Yeah.
Scorpions Blackout is my number one. Now, my number two, this is where I had the conflict of the tie almost. I ended up going with Thriller, not just because of how iconic it is. I don't listen to it all the time, but my wife loves it.
Why wouldn't she?
So she plays a lot of the songs from it. So, like, for me, when I was going through listening, Girl Is Mine, it's got Paul McCartney, Thriller, Beat It, Billie Jean, Human Nature, PYT, and The Lady of My Life. I think Lady of My Life is just as good as, like, the other hits on the album. Human Nature, too. I think Human Nature is just as good as, like, Billie Jean, Thriller, so...
Human Nature is a really good song.
And then my third place, which is just an honorable mention, I'm not going to make it third, was Rockin' a Hard Place by Aerosmith. Now, this is known as the worst Aerosmith album. But I don't think that. I think there's another one that's way worse than this one. But I'll just say the good songs on this one. You got Jailbait, Bitches Brew, Bolivian, Ragamuffin. Don't even know where they come up with that. Cry Me a River, Joni's Butterfly, Rockin' a Hard Place, Jig Is Up. Like, this is the album where Joe Perry wasn't in the band. So people really? Automatically, he left the band. And this is the album people just crap all over because he's not in it. But it's not that bad. I've heard way worse. So, but that's my honorable mention because I was toying with not having Michael Jackson, but I feel like if you don't have Michael, then you know what I mean. It's iconic.
That's a very that album alone is, you hear it all the time.
It's the best-selling album in history.
Yes.
I want to say it's over 50 million units. It is the number one selling album of all time. I mean, I think, well, for a long time, number one was Michael Jackson. Number two was Back in Black. And number three was Eagles' Greatest Hits. But Eagles' Greatest Hits somehow has overtaken Back in Black, and I'm pissed.
Michael Jackson, just to have this looked up just so we can confirm, The Michael Jackson Thriller album global sales was over 70 million copies.
It was 50 million back in the day when I saw something about it. So
Wow, that's insane.
yeah. Well,
All right. Yeah.
it's time to move on to 83 then.
83. We're coming.
All right, we'll see y'all in the next one.